All right, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video for Fear the Walking Dead, leading up to the second episode for the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. In this one, we'll do our second Q&A for this week. We'll start things off giving our thoughts on the whole Madison returning theory. Alright, and spoiler warning, if you guys are not caught up for Fear the Walking Dead, which is up to the mid-season premiere for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. So I definitely want to do at least the second Q&A video for this week leading up to episode 10, it would be, for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. And this one mainly referring to the finale and kind of giving our thoughts, because quite a few people messaged through. I mean, there's not that many people to watch Fear versus watch the original Walking Dead series, but for Fear representation, a few people messaged through, wanted to hear my thoughts on the idea of Madison returning, because there was the tree that they saw recently in episode 9 with the like the ladder type thing on it, and if you're still here, it means that, or if you're reading this, it means you're still here, or whatever, still alive, this kind of thing. So something that's, Madison-esque, I would say. So a lot of people think like maybe they would bring Madison back. Here's the question. Dinah Johnson said, Trev, I don't think that Alicia will die. I think there's a chance that Madison will be reunited with her. I think Madison and Alicia have unfinished business because Madison was always pulled in Nick's direction, consistently pulling Madison away due to Nick's addiction, and Alicia helped with that by being the sideboard supporting the family and picking up the pieces. I feel Alicia was thrown into an adult position way too soon, and Madison's arc isn't finished either. I think she has a lot of information/drama to share with her ex's issues, and one of the reasons Madison came off as being so emotionless and at times cold. So that's from Dinah Johnson. So a lot of people think like, maybe that's what they would do, is kind of bring her back. The thing is now is it's so far out from the season 4 mid-season finale. We saw the mid-season premiere now for Fear the Walking Dead, season 5. So it's over a year after that point and the break. Pretty soon it'll be a year and a half. If they were going to do that, it'd probably be like a finale or something. So, doing something a whole year and a half later that's a really, really long time to do something like that and bring back a character for like season 6 or something. Now, as much as I would love the idea, it would be cool to see Madison back in Fear again, because we didn't exactly see a body. They sort of confirmed on Talking Dead that she was dead. So if they kind of go against that and they bring her back, well, it's not like we haven't been lied to before in the Walking Dead universes, right? In fandom, it's not the first time we've been lied to. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it just feels like it's too late for me. It's like, you know what? That could have been cool if they'd have done it maybe at the finale of season 4. But if they did it now, it's like it's too late. I know the actress did say that she'd be open to returning for Fear, but I think she was cast as a lead in another series too. So Kim Dickens obviously can get other work, and I think she has since her time has ended on Fear. So I personally don't expect to see her back ever again. In fact, I'm still going the other way, thinking that not only would they not bring her back, but I do think they're going to kill off more of the original Fear survivors here, pretty soon as well. Yeah, my death predictions pretty much stand for the second half. And again, I really hope I'm wrong, but that's seriously what I'm thinking right now based on what everyone's saying. Even on Talking Dead, you had Lenny James, who's talking about, his highlight for the season was working with Alicia and this kind of stuff. So that's what I'm just thinking. I'm just like, oh man, I really hope I'm wrong about this one, because I think it's just going to destroy the rest of Fear. Like, whatever fan base Fear has left, it's like, if that happens, it's going to be done, man. It's going to be like, oh, no one's going to want anything to do with the show anymore. Like, it's going to be so bad if they do this. I really hope they don't, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's just, that's the way. If you look at their faces, listen to the things they're saying, it's like, man, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Erica Sharp says, it may get a season 7 if they keep Alicia alive and bring back Madison and maybe even some characters from season 3 like Taka. The problem is they've already added on all of these other characters, so they have a huge roster for Fear already. I think Fear has a way lower budget than the original Walking Dead series. I would be shocked if Fear's budget was even half of what the original Walking Dead series is. So I think it's, for them to add on additional characters. Like, even one of the ideas I had was, when they crossed over Morgan or Lenny James, I even thought right away, like, maybe they killed off Madison when they brought Morgan in, because it put their costs too high. Like, it put their costs for their talent or their actor or actresses too high. So they decided to bring Morgan in, kill Madison off right away because he sort of replaced her in a way. Which is not really what we wanted. What we wanted was a crossover, not a takeover. But it looks like Fear the Walking Dead is pretty much being, 100% taken over by the Morgan and Friends, concept, which more and more all the time that seems to be the case. But again, I hope the season ends off differently and someone else is killed off instead of one of those OG. I guess Luciana, if you're going to kill off Luciana, okay, I guess you can kind of do that because we all kind of expect it. But Strand Alicia, you probably shouldn't because they're just those original survivors. Scott Wenberg said, Trev Q&A, I know what the problem is. There isn't any major season plot moving the stories forward. They're just self-contained, empty stories. In The Walking Dead, there is always a season plot with episodes within that plot line, moving things forward. Plus, they keep changing the visual style, which is annoying. So they do change the filter in Fear a bit, which is a little bit weird. Z Nation also used different filters, which maybe also makes me kind of think of it when I watch Fear. But they do. They change the screen filter, so sometimes it's like bluish, sometimes it's grayish or brownish. Sometimes they do that to make us be able to see between the storylines, which is okay. The original Walking Dead used gray for that as well at certain times. But Fear has taken that to another level. They do that a lot, like a lot, all the time. So yeah, I think you're probably right, Scott. I like to see strong villains too, and that's one thing that I think the original Walking Dead nailed. Shane was an awesome kind of anti-hero villain type of character against Rick. The Governor was an awesome villain. I also like Negan a lot too, even though a lot of people don't. Terminus with the Hunters was cool. And Fear the Walking Dead, man, they just have not had... Fear the Walking Dead feels more like they're going places, right? Even from the first season. They're going places, they're living in the zombie apocalypse, they're going over obstacles. They run into minor villains. Fear has never had like a major multi-season or season full villain. Maybe they're doing it on purpose because they're afraid if they do like a Negan thing that everyone will get bored after the first half or something. They keep kind of changing. Every half season it reinvents itself and changes again. But personally, I would like to see if they could somehow work in a full season villain or maybe a Governor season and a half or something like this. Could be really cool, but they'd have to probably have a home base first if they were going to do that. I guess Logan is sort of there. Logan is like an attempt, I think, at sort of doing that because he did come in at the beginning of the season. But even still, he's not a fearsome type of villain, which is unfortunate. Anthony Hobo says, do you think Fear never really had a chance because we were so desensitized to so much from the original series? It made it harder to shock the audience. Anthony... It brings up a good point here. Did Fear ever really have a chance to kind of succeed? I think the third series will tell us for sure if that's kind of true. If it does, if the third series is even less received than Fear was. But I think Fear started off really strong. It started off really good, and it just lost its audience, season by season. Just one after another, just less and less and less and less. The concept for the crossover was good because it gave us a bit of a boost there, and what they did was good. But it just, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just too much Walking Dead overall, too many weeks a year. But, for them, it's still probably their second best show they've had in a long while since, Breaking Bad or something. So, for them, they're probably very happy with it. But I think you're right. Fear had pretty much bigger deaths earlier on than The Walking Dead did in a lot of ways. They killed off Travis, who we all thought was the lead, and then killing off Madison again. The other characters earlier too, Chris and the others, they killed off. It's getting to the point pretty soon in the next year or two. We may not have anybody left from the beginning of the series. If Daniel leaves, and I just don't know, man. We'll have to see who survives the next year or two. But it's getting pretty close to the point where it's wow, you got just an empty sheet from what you'd expect from the beginning. So it's tricky to say if it never had a chance. After because of the original series, we're so used to kind of the zombie apocalypse and what it is. But I tend to think it's kind of if you do stuff that's good enough, like season 3, I think it can do well. At least we can be pleased with it, even if it's not as popular. At least we can look at it and say, okay, it's this was awesome or that was awesome or whatever. And there can be some agreement there. Matthew White says, if the show kills off Morgan or Alicia, it would be a disaster, not just for Fear, but for the Walking Dead universe in general. If Morgan or Alicia were removed from the show, now in its current state, it's ending with a whimpered and slow death of season 6. Mark my words. So that's what he's thinking. So two important characters, if you kill them off, do you have enough with the others to keep people watching? Maybe not. It's hard enough for them to kind of stay where it is right now. If they take a big risk pretty soon and they do a major character death in the next year, it's hard to say for Fear, if people are even going to want to come back, because the thing is Fear has sort of done the opposite with their cast. Instead of killing off, some of the lesser known characters and having Rick survive on and having like the forefront characters survive on forward, Fear sort of did the opposite, where it killed off like the biggest characters, in the series. Like Travis, we all thought Travis was the lead, like he was the number one character, and they killed him. And then Madison was definitely the lead, and then they killed her. And then the others as well too. Chris was like the Carl, and they killed him right away. So it was like, they kind of started at the top instead of starting at the bottom and working their way up. They started at the top and they kind of moved down from there and kind of kept shuffling and then moving. So it's like, wow, man. Part of it, like Nick leaving, is like Frank Delane wanted to, so it's not much you can do, but yeah, that's crazy, man. Cartel says, Fear never had the best ratings, but seasons 1 to 3 were great and progressively got better. Overall, the new showrunners completely butchered the show, plots, characters, identity, etc. I wouldn't be surprised if they've never watched the first 3 seasons. So there are some times when I look at it and I think to myself, man, maybe they skimmed through them, like maybe there's some stuff that they actually didn't, go through, because some of the ways, the motivations and the way they act, the characters act, in season 4 and afterwards, it kind of feels like sometimes that they're not exactly the same as they were before. And characters are going to change and stuff, but especially Madison, for example, she doesn't exactly feel the same way to me at all. Kendo says, I'm still angry Troy wasn't coming back after all. Do you miss him, Trev? Yeah, he was another one that was really good. One thing about season 3 is they probably killed off a few, again, Fear killing off too many people, right? They probably killed off a few too many characters. Maybe they should have kept Troy alive or around or something. It was weird this year how they said, there was the rumor of him coming back and that it ended up not being true. Maybe they thought about it and changed their mind or something. I don't know. Brad Lipka says, I want the show canceled and Dwight and Morgan brought back to the main show where they belong. And last one will be from Steve Vest, who says, I doubt she'll be killed off. What I believe will occur is Gracie will take care of her, and she'll recover. Think about it. Morgan has been staying there. Is the reason we are still here. This is the reason Gracie is still here, or Grace is still here, I think he means. It is still a cool twist, but pretty obvious. If she was going to die, it would have been in last night's episode. So that was before, yeah. And then last one will be from Daryl Dixon, who says, Trav, your comment section is filled with whiners. So I don't know if necessarily we're, just whiners. We're just complaining all the time. It's just kind of, people are talking about how they feel about the episodes. I was happy with the first half, and I said that, a lot of times, at least with some of it. And I thought that the nuclear meltdown was cool and stuff. So, there were some cool things in there. But, it's tricky to please an audience for a series that's been going for, as long as both of these series have. You can't count it just 5th season. You got to count it plus The Walking Dead. So, in total, that's a lot of seasons of shows, right, with 2 airing at the same time. They're both the same universe, so it's, it crosses over, right? Obviously, it includes both. So that'll be it with this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. And if you liked it, please leave another comment if you want to see one more Q&A this week. Thumb it up, share it, and favorite it. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.